Hello guys, and welcome to Brazil for another edition in this F1 2014 Backmarker career. As you can see, conditions are far from perfect here as we are starting in a light rain that is expected to turn heavy in about 15 minutes or so, and accordingly we have adjusted our setup to match the conditions, and it'll be interesting to see how we are able to stack up against the AI on a very wet track. We get a very good start here, running third only after the two Mercs, who are definitely expected to be challengers for the win at this track. And as you can see, they are pulling out a gap early here, and I expect that we are going to be doing Rosberg almost getting tangled up with us there. As Hamilton went to outbrake him in the corner, we touched wheels with, I believe it was Ricciardo right there, and you can see there's a bit of a pileup immediately behind us there on the mini track, and somebody is crashing into someone as we have two cars running off the track down there, and already we have 3 cars out of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Thankfully, our little brush there with both Rosberg and Ricciardo did not damage us in any way. And as you can see, Hamilton is leading Rosberg right now, and he really needs to take the win on this track to stay alive in the championship race. And for us, the 2 remaining races here are going to be all about having fun and just driving some interesting races. Hopefully, we are already signed to drive for McLaren next year, so it'll be very, very nice to have a more competitive car, and it'll be interesting to see if we can't scrape home a few wins next year. I don't expect it to happen this year, as it's definitely not going to happen today, and I don't expect us to be racing for the win at Abu Dhabi either. So, jumping to lap 4, the situation remains fairly unchanged. The 2 Mercs are opening up a gap down to us, and we are currently doing our best to keep Vettel behind us. As you can see, there's a little bit of a train forming behind us there, as we are not as fast as some of the AI cars. Given the weather conditions, we have opted for a high downforce setup there, meaning that we are going to be missing speed on the 2 long straights, and as such we are going to be forming a line. Skipping ahead to lap 5, you can see on the mini track there that Vettel has come under pressure from Ricciardo from behind, and it appears that Ricciardo is going around the outside of Vettel, who has to step on the brakes real hard there and loses a couple of seconds. So Vettel is currently down to 5th position as Ricciardo moves into 4th. And I would have expected the Red Bull engineers to have been holding their breaths during that sequence. And already here on lap 5, before the rain even has started coming down hard, we are going to have the safety car out as another car is retired, and we are currently down to 18 runners, only 5 laps in. And this of course means that we are going to have the chance of pulling within racing distance here of the 2 Mercs, but I don't really expect us to have any shot of even attacking them. I expect them to be pulling away the second the green flag waves. They're going to be gone one more time. And as you can see there, our engine there is starting to get real hot, as we've been doing this for a couple of laps now, and there hasn't been proper cooling of the engine. So safety car is going to be in this lap, and we are getting ready to get underway one more time, just trying to get some heat into the tires here. Hopefully that'll help us a little bit. But what really worries me is that we are going to be under pressure from not just Ricciardo, but also from whoever is immediately behind him right off the bat here. And that's not a good thing for us, because we had basically pulled clear of most of the pack there. We only had like 2 or 3 cars chasing immediately behind us, but now we have the whole pack just waiting to put us under pressure once the rain starts coming down real hard. Because so far in intermediates we have been doing rather well. And skipping ahead to lap 13 here, you can see that Rosberg has already pulled out a gap of almost 15 seconds on us. Also, Vettel is now up into 4th place again, having overtaken Ricciardo behind us. So it appears that the 2 Red Bulls there have a bit of a battle going. And as could be expected there, we are starting to form a bit of a line again there. We have Vettel really pushing hard to pass us right now, and 3 cars immediately behind him, Ricciardo being one of them, and I'm not sure who the other 2 are. Jumping to lap 17, we are still having problems matching the speed of some of the AI cars here, and Vettel has a look down the inside of us there. We return a favor heading into turn 1, and for the moment at least, managed to hold on to 4th position. And also, we are coming up on our first pit stop here within the next 3 or 4 laps, which poses a bit of a problem for us because the way things are now, with the current conditions, we would be changing to another set of intermediates. However, we have been told that heavy rain is expected within the next 10 minutes. And jumping ahead to lap 21, our tires are starting to go. We just lose the back end here coming out of turn 3, and Vettel takes full advantage of this and pulls ahead of us into 3rd place as we are down to 4th. And as you can see on the track there, it is getting a lot wetter, and we are starting to struggle for grip just a little bit here, and I'm not sure whether it's down to our set of intermediates here being really worn or whether it's down to the conditions themselves. Either way, I expect it won't be too long before we are told to go in and change to a set of wets, and that is exactly what happens here on lap 24. And as you can see there, there's a whole train of cars immediately behind us heading in for full wets right now. And it appears that our teammate, Jean-Eric Verne, is right behind us. He's going to be held up. But what is rather interesting about this is that a number of AI cars actually went in for tires about 3 or 4 laps ago, and I would have expected them to change to intermediates at that time. So whether or not they stay out on their intermediates now or come in for a full set of full wets is going to be interesting to see. And here on lap 26, it appears that Vettel, who went into the pits like 3-4 laps before us, actually went and changed to a set of full wets at that time. As you can clearly see, he is on full wets at the moment, and he has not made an extra pit stop. He passes us on the straight. We were unable to match his pace, but we have a look down the inside of him into turn 1 and almost bumped wheels there heading through the chicane. And jumping to lap 29, Bottas is putting Vettel under heavy pressure right behind us. We lose the car going up on the curb here, bumping into Bottas, who suffers some damage and has to concede 4th place to Raikkonen. And not only does this result in a yellow flag incident, but as you can see on the mini track there, Bottas is dropping off and has suffered some kind of severe damage. And skipping on ahead to lap 30, Hamilton is going to come up and lap us for the first time during this race, as the 2 Mercs are going like crazy at the moment. Skipping to lap 32, we almost lose the car into the grass one more time, as we definitely have to be gentle on the throttle coming out of the corners here. Vettel is still immediately behind us, putting us under huge pressure at the moment, and running a little wide here as well is definitely not going to help us in our efforts to stay in 3rd. And not completely unfamiliar to us, there is a line forming behind us one more time of 4 cars there. Vettel leading the charge at the moment, but as you can see, there are several cars trying to have looks left and right of us all over the place. All we can do is hold on to our line and hope that we manage to hold on to this place just a little while longer. And jumping to lap 36 now, Rosberg is coming up from behind to lap this entire line of cars that we have been forming and making them ease off just a little bit there, but it appears that Rosberg is not having an easy time getting past them anyway, giving us the chance here to open up a little bit of a gap, and whatever little 10th of a second, however minuscule it may seem, is very welcome at this point. Skipping ahead to lap 39 here, the vacation seems to be over as Rosberg has cleared the cars behind us and is now coming up to lap us. And that means we are going to be coming under pressure again within the next 2 or 3 laps. We take a bit of a jump here to lap 54. The situation is now this, that both Jenson Button and Kimi Raikkonen have overtaken us as we got held up in the pits during our second pit stop for a good 3 or 4 seconds there, meaning we lost a couple of positions. Also, we had a bit of a incident where we lost the back end coming out of a turn and lost another position to, in this case, to Jenson Button. So we are currently down to 7th position with Perez about 2 seconds down on us. And still on lap 54 here, the number of running cars suddenly changes from 16 to 15. And as it would later turn out, this is one of the front runners as we gain a position from 7th to 6th. I am unsure who it is, but it appears to may have been Vettel, as he has now dropped to 6th position there. And surely enough, he drops further down the order there, and Paris passes him as well. So on lap 55, Sebastian Vettel is out of the Brazilian Grand Prix. And jumping to lap 57 here, Felipe Massa has now overtaken Sergio Perez immediately behind us. And I can't for the life of me figure out why that Williams is so far down in his standings. It just seems like Massa is, I know he's about 4th in the championship. He's just driving a very, very anonymous season, I have to say. I don't remember really seeing him anywhere other than down in the secondary positions, but he must be doing it fairly consistently, because he is currently 4th in the championship race. On a side note here, I must say that even though we almost lose the back end here coming out of turn 2, I must say that one more time we have been able to strike lucky with our setup and are actually rather competitive in a full wet race. I did not expect this to happen. It's very, very different from what happened to us at Hockenheim, where we basically retired after 65 laps or so because we dropped something like 12 positions in 15 laps, which was completely ridiculous. We had no grip whatsoever. And the last couple of wet races here has been a very different experience. Jumping ahead to lap 60 here, no real news. Massa is still hot on our heels there. We almost lose the car here, coming through the right hand or going into the grass there, the back end fishtailing all over the place, but Massa unable to take advantage. And the pit comes on the air here telling us that it could be another 15 minutes until there's any sort of improvement in the weather, meaning with 11 laps to go, it is going to be raining from start to finish here in Brazil. And once again, Massa taking advantage of his powerful engine here on the straight, but he is not really able to have a look down the inside properly. He just goes alongside of us there, but does not have a line, and we managed to stay in 6th for now at least. And again, just feeling the pressure here, getting on the throttle a little bit too soon there, and the back end just wants to skid all over the place there. We got to be careful with that. Back on the finishing straight here, lap 61. Massa's going to try his luck again, going down the inside of us there. He has much better speed this time and manages to pass us with no real drama. Only problem for him is he does not close the door, leaving us a line which we just follow, and we take 6th place back immediately after. And also, it appears that we've been slowing down Massa so long now that Hülkenberg has come up to join the party as well. And a little further back, you can see Rosberg is coming up to lap us all one more time, as Hamilton has already lapped us twice, but something goes wrong, however. He ends up rear-ending Felipe Massa. We lose the car coming out of the turn. Hülkenberg seizes the opportunity, swoops down the inside, and we are down to 7th position, at least momentarily, until Rosberg disappears off the grid. Skipping ahead to lap 67 here, Jean-Eric Vergne, our teammate, has pretty much closed the gap on us here and is starting to put us under some pressure. However, he does not have the same straight line speed that the Red Bulls or the Williams cars has, so we do not have the same problems with him here on the long straight. However, he still has the slipstream effect, so we need to be wary of what he does. And on lap 69, Lewis Hamilton takes the win here at Brazil, and with Rosberg out of the race entirely, meaning he scores no points, it is making for an absolute cracker of a finale at Abu Dhabi. And I doubt anyone saw this coming 6 races ago. Impressive. And all the while I talk about this, Jean-Eric Vergne had a go down the inside of us there that he had to back out of, meaning Alonso comes up from behind, takes 7 away from him, and he's probably going to be kicking himself for trying that. Barring any major incidents for us here on this final half of this lap 69, which is going to be our final lap of the race, I have to say that although we did fare better than I had feared in a full wet race from start to finish, the only reason we finish as high as we do is most likely due to so many cars retiring. However, we did get held back in the pits that lost us 2 positions, and although we were being chased by cars who were faster than us, we were still being quite successful in staying defensive and keeping cars behind us. So how things would have turned out hadn't we been held back is difficult to say. Anyway, we finish in P6 today. Lewis Hamilton takes another win. Rosberg scores no points, and this is going to go right down to the wire. And there you have it, Lewis Hamilton on top of the podium. Ricciardo is second. Jenson Button scores a rare podium finish this season. That's good news for our future teammate and our future team. And Raikkonen gets a rare finish ahead of us. And the list of casualties today: Rosberg, Massa, Vettel, Bottas, Sutil, Maldonado, Magnussen, Gutierrez, and Kobayashi. So there you have it, the championship standings. Nico Rosberg still in front, 23 points ahead of Hamilton. But remember, the final race at Abu Dhabi is going to be double points, so this is going to be very interesting. At any rate, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please don't forget to leave a like, a subscribe even, and I'll be seeing you soon enough. Bye-bye.